With SECs coming up next week, y'all haven't really competed in a couple of weeks. What has the preparation been like, and what's the mindset of the team going into the postseason?
Well, at this point in the season, kind of all of our work is done at this point. It's time to rest, and it's time to kind of do some maintenance work on what we've done to them over the past 6 months. And what I mean by that is our training kind of follows a bell-shaped curve, and that we kind of peak in our training phase in late December and early January, and then the next 6 to 8 weeks after that is meant to try to fix them, put them back together, and make them stronger than they were before. So the last couple of weeks really has been very detailed oriented in terms of making sure they're able to hit paces for their race strategies, making sure our sprinters are maxing out on their top speed and able to hold that as long as possible. So it definitely differs from our December and our January training in that now it's not as much about the big heavy workloads. It's more about making sure the details are taken care of and things like that. So I think we're off to a pretty good start with our folks that swam at UNC last weekend, and now we're gearing up to leave Sunday for SECs.
All right, and then with all the travel and how much longer this meet is, you'll be in Knoxville for about a week, and that's a little bit different for the athletes. How do you normalize that as much as possible?
Well, it's hard to normalize it because really the only other meet from a swimming perspective that is this long is either one, U.S. Olympic trials, or two, the Olympics itself, which only come around every 4 years. So it's hard to normalize it. What we have to do is to try to prepare them mentally for the intensity level, because really there's not another meet, NCAA championships included, there's not another meet that we experience that has this sort of team concept and a 5-day intensity like it does. Start to finish, every race matters, every swim matters, every point matters, every dive matters. So having that intensity really for the upper class, they're sophomores, juniors, and seniors. They've been through at least one. Our freshmen have never been in anything like this before. So they're the ones we have to pay the most attention to. They're the ones we have to keep grounded and kind of I don't want to say keep mellow, because there has to be a certain edge to their behavior. But I think just to kind of keep them as even keel as possible, not let them get too high, not let them get too low, and just make sure that they execute what we've worked all year on.
Okay. On the guys' side, you have a couple of them that are near the top of the conference. Akram has the top 1650. Nils is up there in both breaststroke events, and they're not the only ones. So what is it going to take for those guys who are near the top to touch the wall first?
Well, I think, again, it goes back to what's our ultimate goal. And, we have, while the SEC championships are important, and it's one of our biggest meet of the year, probably our biggest meet as far as a team concept goes, and the most people competing, we're moving forward to kind of set us up for the NCAA championships. The bottom line is we want to win NCAA titles, and those guys are in that contention. Those guys they're in that conversation for winning NCAA championships. So we need to be at a certain place in this meet to set ourselves up to be great at NCAA. So what do they have to do to get to the wall first? I think both of those guys swim very different events. What we've seen from Niels Witt-Glossen this year is he has probably more speed than he's ever had before. He's been known as a 200 breaststroker, but I think, honestly, this year his speed has been phenomenal. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him make a run at the top guys in the breaststroke events, both of them, not just the 200, but the 100 as well. So he's got some unbelievable competition this year. In the 200 breaststroke, you've got Fabian Swingerslagel, who's also a great 100 breaststroker, another German who swims from Missouri. And so I think you've got those guys that they've got to get up and race, but he's in that conversation, and I think his speed is going to take him out in the 100. If he has a good 100, he'll have a great 200. Akram, on the other hand, he's one of the toughest trainers I've ever seen, and so his work ethic, I think, is going to take him through that last 650 yards of the race probably better than anyone else. And the SEC, the top distance programs in the country come out of the SEC, and so between South Carolina and Tennessee, Georgia, I think we've got some really good, outstanding distance swimmers that we're going to put up. Florida is another one. The final of the 1650 at SECs honestly should all make NCAAs this year. So it'll be fun to watch, but those guys aren't the only guys. I think when you look at, I think Finn Manuth is about to have a breakout meet. Not a lot of people know who he is right now, and I think he's about to really show off a little bit. He's worked so hard this year, more so than I've seen any freshman or sophomore work in their first 2 years here. So we're proud of him. Tom Parabonio is a returning All-American. I think he's going to do great things for us, and I think Jonathan Boland's going to have a huge meet. So we're looking forward to some big swims on the men's side.
Okay, and then on the women's side, Emma Barksdale has been coming on strong, breaking a 26-year-old record in the 1,000 free. You also have some veteran swimmers that have come along as you head into the postseason. What do you think of your prospects on that side?
I think we have the opportunity this year to take more women to our NCAA championship meet than we have in probably the last 15 years. And so that's fun. That brings a team concept to our women that we have been trying to put together for years past, and so Emma Barksdale, I think, she has gotten steadily better over the last year and a half or so. She had a great Olympic trials. She's getting stronger every time she swims, and I think this is no different. What she's done this year has set herself up to be a 3-event finalist, and then to move on to NCAA, she's done things in practice that we haven't had female swimmers do here since I've been here. So that's going to be fun to watch. And I think if she just goes out and executes her race plan, Kevin Swander's prepared her really, really well. So I think that's going to be fun. Kirsten Durain is another one. She's going to be one who has an outstanding 2 breaststroke events. Her 100 and 200 are not even in the same realm of where they were last year. I think she's taken on a whole different level, and I've seen her make a commitment to her sport that she didn't have before. So I'm excited to see what she's going to do. We've got returning NCAA qualifiers Meredith Vey, and we've got Taylor Worrell that are in the mix. Heather Merritt has had an outstanding year. Emily Cornell and Edith Lingman are going to, I think, have breakout meets. Christina Lappin, who has had a great year so far, had a little medical mishap a few weeks ago and had to have a heart procedure done, but she's back and she's cleared, and we're gonna take her, and she's gonna be an asset for us. So it's gonna be fun to watch this start to unfold. We've taken a little bit of different approach this year than we have in years past, where we really did not rest anyone for our midseason meet, which is different than what we've done for the past. We have backed off a little bit in the past, and so this year what we're starting to see right now is much faster end-of-season swims than we would if we had rested for that midseason meet. So I'm excited about it. Practices are starting to come around, and now really, from a coach's standpoint, we just want to go. We just want to get to Knoxville and race. So should be fun.
Okay, and then last question. For this to be considered a successful meet in your mind and the mind of your staff, what do y'all need to do in Knoxville?
Well, again, like I said, to us, the big picture is the NCAA championship. So to be a successful meet for us is to put as many people in that meet or in position to make that meet as we can. We want to keep moving forward towards the national level, and if we're doing that, if we keep moving, if our guys keep moving into the top 15 and ladies into the top 20, then we're going to keep moving up in the SEC. It's the fastest conference in the country, definitely. Not only in the pool, but over on the boards, there's more competition in our conference than there is anywhere else in the nation. So from that aspect, if you set your sights on the national level and you're moving up at the NCAA championships, you're getting better in the SEC. You know, from a coaching standpoint, I want our kids to get faster. Ideally, I would love to see 100% lifetime best. If we do that, we're going to be in a great place. But that's a mighty big goal. I think taking the next step would make this successful. Taking our athletes to NCAAs and watching our divers move on to zones and then making NCAAs from there. That's a successful championship meet in my mind. So this is, again, we talk about kind of stepping stones to the NCAAs. This is another one, a very important one, but this is just another one that we're going to go and we're going to attack next week with everything we got, and then we're going to put as many people in Indianapolis as we can.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.